Hello everyone and welcome back to the Confessions of a Teenage Witch podcast. My name is Ella and I am your host, and today we're going to be talking all about journaling, which is the only habit that I've started and actually sustained for a really long period of time. I started journaling in year 9, I think it was at the start of year 9, which was right before the pandemic, and I have stuck at it ever since I started it because I always thought there's just no reason not to, because I managed to simplify it for myself so that it was something I could easily do every day, and I also made it a habit so I could just carry on doing it and not even think about it. So I'm going to be talking about it more in depth today. This is something I've been wanting to talk about for such a long time. I've been wanting to make a journaling video, but I've thought it has to be perfect and everything. So I kind of want to just start with this and just do this as a podcast episode, and then I'm going to be doing like lots of different YouTube videos on journaling and like inspiration for journaling in different ways, because journaling is more complex than people say. Like there's so many different ways to journal, different styles of it, and I've tried a couple of them, but some of them I haven't tried yet because like the really deep journaling is not something you can easily do every day. So I think that might be something that scares some people, I'm not sure. But anyway, let's just begin with the beginning of the story. So, as I talk about sometimes, my favourite content creator for a really, really long time was Best Dressed, and I was obsessed with Best Dressed. Like so much. Her videos were just incredible, and she stopped posting videos in 2020, I think, because she had a stalker, but she used to do like fashion videos and vlogs, and she's what inspires me to do lots of my own like fashiony videos now. So I saw she had a video about journaling, and out of like lots of random people I heard talking about journaling, hers was the only one that really like got me to actually start, just because of how good of a video maker she was. So I decided I'm gonna go and buy my first journal. So I got my first journal from The Range, which is this shop in the UK that is very much hit or miss. Some of the stuff is really good quality, some of it is not, but you can find literally anything in The Range, like anything. They got food, because they've got this kind of collab with Iceland, which is now the food warehouse, which is really odd. You can buy a rug, you can buy a Christmas tree, you can buy toys like for kids, you can buy like a carpet. It's really weird. I don't know if you can actually buy a carpet, but they sell like literally anything in The Range. So I thought I'd look at the journals, and I found this little journal. I actually have a picture, I don't know where it is, somewhere on my Instagram, where I took it on the first day that I started writing in this journal. So it was around August of 2019 that I started journaling, and I remember I was like really annoyed that I didn't start journaling earlier, because I'd had like such a great summer and everything, and I was like, it would be so cool if I would have started at the beginning, and then I would have had all of that. So I feel like this is one of my favourite ones that I've done, and I've got many to show you today, but I just really, really loved how in the beginning, every day I'd do a prompt and I would write them out for the future. So I would have like a little title that was like a question or like a word, and then I'd have to write a whole page, and I'd try and write a page every single day. And over the last like almost 5 years of me, 5 years, I can't believe I'm getting so old now that like I can be doing something for 5 years and it like not really feel like that long ago. It's weird. I feel like I was a child for a long time and suddenly I'm 18. I'm like, oh, what the hell? Anyway, yes, so I used to have stuff like this, like, have you ever had an operation or broken a bone? And some of these answers were so cringy that I put, but it's only been in like the last like 2-3 years that I've actually found them cringy, because for the first couple of years reading about these entries, I didn't find them cringy because I didn't change that much as a person, which is kind of a bit worrying. But yeah, I feel like over the last like 5 years, I've changed a lot, but I also haven't changed that much. I feel like in the last year, I've changed like a hell of a lot. But before that, I don't know. Anyway, oh my god, what trends make you lol? I thought this wasn't that cringy. I don't like the massive chunky Nike trainers. They have massive rubbery bits attached to them and weird lines. I know they're really trendy, but they look really dodgy. And whenever I see them in the shop, I just can't stop laughing. They are horrible. I don't know how anyone in their right mind would ever want to wear them. I feel like you would fall over and break your ankle on them, as they are so clumpy. Anyway, enough of me ranting about stupid Nike trainers. I can't believe I actually wrote that. I can't believe the things I used to think about and worry about. Like now my brain is just YouTube, just all the time. It's concerning. My family are worried about me, my obsession with YouTube. I'm like, it's fine. Yeah, so I put little things and oh, my handwriting looks so different. It's so cute. When do you write in this journal? This is a really important thing to mention. So, I always journal right before I go to sleep. And this is single-handedly probably the main reason why I have managed to sustain this habit for so long. And I have not missed a day except from when I had COVID, which was when I was in year 11. I had COVID a couple weeks before Christmas when I was doing like my trial exams. That was a strange time. So yeah, there was one day I missed when I had COVID, and then last October when I was in Iceland, I didn't as well. And also when I was in the Lake District with school last year, I did all my entries on my phone, so I need to write them out at some point. They're still on here. But I have kept the habit every single day. I've not missed a day. Like, I take my journal on holiday. Even when I'm ill, I really try and remember, because it's so hard when I'm ill to remember. But yeah, when I was on these trips with the school, I didn't want to take my journal with me, because you never know what's going to happen when you're on a school trip. Like, someone could nick stuff out your bag, or you could lose it on the flight, and I was just like I was not thinking that was a good idea. So I just decided that those like little mini residentials I did with school, I was not taking a journal, so I just wrote it down in my phone. But there was like a couple of days in Iceland, I just couldn't write, and I didn't know what to write anyway, because I was very like introspective when I was in Iceland, because we were on the coach like a lot of that trip. We were just like looking at the scenery, so I was just like thinking about stuff, like thinking about YouTube, thinking about like my craft, and just like looking at the scenery and everything. So yes, I don't know, I just kind of gave up, because I missed one day when I was in Iceland. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to force myself to write now, because I don't even know what I'm going to write about. So every single day, last 5 years, kept this habit. And if you would like to start journaling too, I highly recommend that you find a time like I did, like right before I fall asleep, to journal, because you have to attach it to a habit that you already do and you have to do every day for your survival. Like, I know that every single day, without fail, I am going to go to sleep. Like, I'm going to go to bed, and I'm not going to just go to sleep like on the floor, or I don't know, it's like somewhere that I'm definitely going to be every day. Like, if you want to do it in the morning, which could be a nice idea, like if you're eating breakfast, you could put your journal like near your kitchen, you could put it next to your cereal box, and you could, as you're having your cereal, you could journal. But you've got to attach it to a habit that you definitely do every day, and you're never going to forget, if it's important to you, that you do it every day. For me, I've been doing it so long now, I cannot see myself stopping, because I've just been doing it for so long. There's no reason why I wouldn't do it, because it's just habit, and I really like it because I can see my headspace, like how my what I'm thinking about most that day, which is usually YouTube stuff, which is, again, very concerning. Anyway, so yeah, this journal, I had it from the 28th of September 2019, and for the first couple of days of journaling I didn't think I was going to do it every day, and then I thought, well, why not do it every day? So then I started doing it every day. And the first ever journal prompt that I did, which I've been planning to make a video like this for the longest time, is what is the meaning of life? And I thought I had cracked it, you know, when I was 13, like I was like, yes, this is the meaning of life. Was I 13? Yes. So yeah, but like, I don't know, I feel like it's such an abstract question that you just get the coolest, most creative answers from it. So I don't think it really matters what the answer is when you're like creatively thinking about it, but whatever. I want to make this really cinematic, beautiful video about that one day. The next question was, can people change? So yeah, I would just write these prompts, and yeah, it hasn't been for like at least 3 years since I've answered prompts, because I will get to it in a minute, but I just write like whatever I'm thinking. Or like if I'm really ill, I just say I feel really sick, and that is the journal for the day. So yes, first journal. Second journal was this one. I got this journal from someone's birthday party. This is probably the last birthday party I went to for a long time. Because I then was friends with people that didn't have birthday parties, which was really odd. So now when my brother, he goes to birthday parties, and he's the age that I was when people didn't really have birthday parties, I just think it's really odd that he's still going to birthday parties at his age. And he's coming up the stairs right now. Anyway, so yeah, this is my second journal. So yeah, I got this in like a party bag from a birthday party. That doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, because I must have got this notebook at the same time as this, because I started writing this around the time I went to the party that I got this notebook. So yeah, I didn't want to go out and buy a notebook because I really desperately needed to start the next journal. And that's another thing I'll talk about, is finding the right journal and like the timings, and trying to start looking early enough that you find the perfect one, and like all of the different things that the journal has to physically check off, like the size of it and the lines and the paper and the way it opens and all of that. I'll talk about that later. So yeah, second journal, and I wanted to make it look aesthetic, so I cut out one of those paint things, the paint testing things, and I put it on this like that, and I thought it looked really cool. And I don't actually think it looked that bad, but my dad thought it was hilarious at the time. So yeah, and these little things and some washi tape. So it looks very, like, teen vibes. So yes, this one, did I go for it quick or not? I don't know. So it's got Animal Crossing sticker in it, and my iconic picture that I used for years. I actually sold that dress the other day because it didn't feel like me anymore, and it also didn't really fit very comfortably. It felt really like... So yes, this is my like really witchy picture I took in lockdown. So this was Wednesday 27th of May 2020. So this, oh my gosh, this is like the proper pandemic-y one. And yeah, there's not much to say about this one. It's not got as many prompts as the other one. It started with lots of prompts, and then I stopped doing prompts, and that's kind of when I stopped doing prompts. And then after that one, I bought the smallest journal that I ever had, and this barely lasted any time whatsoever. So yeah, sometimes I talk about my day, or I talk about a memory that I wanted to remember from the past that I was remembering about. This came from The Works. Again, as I've said before in my videos, The Works is just incredible. So yes, I really loved this notebook. It wasn't perfect, but it was the only thing that I could find at the shops that was remotely anywhere near a journal, because oh my god, I went in WH Smith, and you don't get much change out of £15 for a notebook. It is ridiculous. Like, I just, the way they price like kids items as well, like kids stationery, I don't know who can afford it. Anyway, so this barely lasted because the lines were too big, and even looking back at this, it just makes me depressed because it was just depressing times. So yeah, that was the next one. I actually started this one on my mum's birthday in 2020, which is cool. So October time, yes. And then let's go to the next one. This one lasts surprisingly long, and I think it's because of the size of the lines. So this notebook I got for Christmas from my nan one year, so I used it, and yeah, it's really, really nice, but it just lasted crazy long. So this was from January 2021 until September 2021, but which felt like a really long time. And I remember when I was finishing this has got really nice memories in it. Yeah, I really like this one. And then we've got the next one, which was this one. And this is probably my favourite journal I've ever had. It is the most gorgeous journal. So I bought this from HomeSense, and we'll be talking about HomeSense later because I'm obsessed for journals. Buying journals from HomeSense is just the best, and that's what I do now. This journal is perfect. It is leather. Oh my god, just the colour of it is gorgeous. It's got this little clip at the front, and oh, I forgot the fact that there'll be people who are watching this in audio. You'll have to just like click on the link and watch the YouTube video if you want to see what the journals look like. And this one's got like yellowed pages, so it looks really old. And this was all like year 11. Yeah, this is all like year 11 stuff. So this is really, really fun to look at. And it opened well and everything. But then I started this one when I was on holiday in Rhodes, which was right before I started studying my A-levels. And this was the most awkward journal because it would not open, like, and stay open while I write it. Like, it's really hard to show you guys on camera, without moving the camera, but like, pretend this is like the desk. If I put it on here, look, it just closes on you as you're writing. It's the most awkward thing. So I got to the point where this journal, I actually gave up on this journal because it was just so awkward to write in. This is what I got from when I used to tutor English and Maths to kids. This is one of the kids that I tutored. She used to draw these little like teddy bears, and she drew this one on the back of a sticker packet. It was so cute. So I put that in here so I remembered it. So yes, what am I talking about again? One day I'll film one of these episodes and it'll actually be coherent. Anyway, so yeah, this was a nightmare to write in. Like, I'm just scanning it to see if I can show you it. No, I can't show you this page. But it's like, oh, I can show you this page. Like, that's how short the entries got. And sometimes the entries are that short. Because there just isn't anything to say. So yeah, but I was so sad when this one ended, and this one lasted a long time. I can't wait to find another one like this. It's just so gorgeous. And then this is my current one, and I got a peg in it so I always can find the right page. So I really, really love this one, but it's really sad because I spilled candle wax on it because I was like honouring my deity one day. I was like I was just like doing the little candle thing. Well, it had a real candle in it. I was like meditating, whatever, and then I knocked it, and it spilt all inside of her. It was really irritating. There was just like candle wax like on her arms and like all the way down here near her legs, and it was a nightmare to clean it out because this is just the most gorgeous thing ever. And yeah, it was really frustrating, and it went all on the front of this. So yes, so currently am I halfway through this yet? Oh gosh, I bought this at the start of the academic year, and I can never find out September. I love starting journals in September, but I have been thinking lately how I'm so excited for when I'm not in the education system anymore, like after university, and my years can start in January and they can finish in December, because at the moment it's like September to July, and then there's some summer months. Like, it doesn't make sense in my mind. It's really odd. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's talk about finding the perfect journal. So I always go to HomeSense, and HomeSense have they're like a partner company. They're like the same company as TK Maxx, so they have all these like designer stuff that they're selling off at a cheaper price because they couldn't sell it all, or they've got like issues with them or whatever, I don't know, like tiny imperfections. So I always buy my journals from them because they're so much cheaper. I don't know, this one's still got the price in it. This one was like £8, this one was like £8, and for like the gorgeousness of these notebooks, it is just perfect. Like when I was in Oxford the other day, oh my gosh, in one of those like fancy stationery shops, the cheapest notebook was £16 and it was like that small. It was crazy. And I know it's like leather bound and it's like made by our like prize blah blah blahs, they'll say, but I just still think that's mad. So yes, HomeSense for notebooks, definitely. So yes, a lot of people are really serious about journals and like what you should write in them, and I just write whatever. Sometimes I write a load of rubbish, sometimes I write something really funny that someone said that day, and it's just not really that deep. But it's really nice to journal and like write a really, really aesthetic and like really, really be in like the spiritual vibes and be like really poetic. So sometimes I'm in that kind of mood and I write like really, really nice entries, but most of the time they're just absolute waffle. And the way I'm kind of okay with that is, I think maybe because I've been doing it so long, but also just thinking about like you never have to show anyone these entries, so they don't have to be perfect. So it's really nice because like when I was starting out, I was like, oh, my kids are going to read this and everything. But now I'm like, well, they might, but that's such a long way in the future. Like it's not even worth thinking about. So I'm just free to write whatever. Yeah, so the final thing I'm going to say about journaling today is I'm going to talk about my witchy journal. Where is it gone? I haven't seen it in ages. I last used it like last summer. Did I put it in my altar? I must have put it like actually inside this altar. Oh my gosh. Because I don't exactly know where... Yeah, it's in here. So I haven't used it in like a year. Oh my gosh, I need to remember these because it's summertime. I thought they were in the box. They're in here. Thank God I found these. I didn't know that I had a tarot bag for them. Perfect. I completely forgot about this. I got this like it's a free gift at Christmas. I won it in a raffle. That is brilliant. Right, I got to remember that because I'm making a video about those cards soon. There's my Lucky 10 on Provence whatever-y soap stuff. Go. Yeah, my little journal. Sorry about the noise if this sounds really crazy. Here's my little witchy journal. So this is something that I really, really recommend. I'm definitely going to do a whole video about this, but it is kind of like these, but they're more as and when. One day I'd like to have one that I actually write in every day, but then when I think about that, I just think, why don't I just change my main one into being a witchy one? I don't know. But yes, so I started this, well, we can actually have a look at it. I don't have to try and guess. I started it last June, it looks, oh, last May, and it is so aesthetic. Like, look how aesthetic. And I have like a little collection of really nice like vintage looking stickers that I bought on Etsy that I use for this, and oh, it's just so gorgeous. So I started thinking like, oh, maybe this would be my book of shadows, and I might actually go back to it because it's so aesthetic and cute. I really, really like how it looks. So oh, it's so beautiful. I forgot how wonderful this is. Why am I talking about yoga? I never did yoga last summer. Did my first witchy yoga flow. Oh, I guess I did do some yoga last year. This is really, really lovely. Oh, this is so cool. I'm so excited to look through this later. Oh, this is so beautiful. Like my one from when I went on holiday. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, I'm taking this on holiday with me this year. This is so cute. So I highly recommend, if you haven't got anything like this in your practice yet, it is just a really, really nice way to just write like little rituals that you've done down, like in diary entry form, and you can decorate it really nice. They sell these in the works, they're about £2 and they're really, really little, because I have a couple of bigger ones. I've got one that's like my Yule scrapbook, because I was planning on getting one for every Sabbath, which I'm still thinking of doing, but one day, probably when I'm a lot older and I can like put it in my house, it'll be like nice. But I just really love the scrapbook vibes. I think it's really witchy and nice. And I still need to like write something on it. I feel like it needs a title because it doesn't look right. But you can write down moon phases and different ideas of rituals that you want to do, and it's just kind of more chill than writing like factual entries like you might do with your grimoire or book of shadows or something. So yeah, I love that. So that is everything I have to say about journaling today. I don't feel like I got everything across that I kind of wanted to say, but I can't think of anything that I didn't say at the moment, so I will probably do like a proper edited YouTube video on journaling. It's just I really needed a podcast episode idea for this week, and I just thought it'd be really fun to talk about journaling. So yes, let me know in the comments. There's also comments on Spotify podcast now, so you can leave your comments there as well. Let me know if you journal every day, and if you find it helps you, because I think it's really, really great for my mental health. It really helps me to see clarity. Like if I'm working through something, then I can write it down, and it's also really helpful to go back if I'm then dealing with a similar issue. Then I can see like how I dealt with it and different ideas I had and how I worked through it. So I really, really love it for that. It gives me a lot of clarity. So yes, now we are moving to the second half of this podcast, where I waffle about a load of random stuff. So yes, we're also not going to have a confession section this week because I haven't had any confessions sent in, and I can't think of any to talk about that about stuff that I haven't already talked about. The probably only confession I could talk about is like the fact that I've been ill. It's not really that interesting. I was so ill the other day. I was like I felt ridiculous and I just could not survive. And then it's been really hard because I've been wanting to make stuff and I haven't been able to make stuff because I've been too poorly to make stuff, and I really want to make videos at the moment. So yeah, but that is the only confession I can really make. Anyway, let's go to the 3 favourites. So my first favourite this week is Descendants Rise of Red, and this is kind of very apt for it. So this literally looks like the Queen of Hearts. This is I got this in a Harry Potter mystery box that Cherry Wallace did a couple years ago. I got it for Christmas, and it is like one of the chess pieces from the first Harry Potter film. So Descendants is a film franchise that I have been obsessed with since the first ever Descendants came out. I was 9 when the first Descendants came out, and I first heard about Descendants because the actors were on Blue Peter, and I used to be obsessed with Blue Peter as well. I had all the Blue Peter badges. So I was like, this looks really, really interesting. So I went over to Disney Channel and I like recorded it so I could watch it when it came out. And I think that I watched it like the next morning of when it came out. I can't remember. But I absolutely loved it. It was just so amazing. It really captured my imagination as well, because Descendants it's like Disney Channel movies, and they're about the children of like famous villains and princesses and stuff like that. So it's about there's these 2 kind of main places in it. So there's Auradon, and there is the Isle of the Lost. So the Isle of the Lost is where all of the villains and their children live, and then the Auradon place is where all of like the positive fairy tale characters live, like all the heroes. That's where they reside. So they have been split for a really long time, but then one day they decide to allow all of the villains to, I think it's the villains' kids, to go to school in Oridon, and then they all like become friends, and then they realise that the villains aren't as bad. So then they did 3 films of that, and we thought that there wasn't going to be any more Descendants films, because very, very sadly, Cameron Boyce died. He was one of the main characters and he is very sorely missed. Like, I was a huge fan of the different things that he was in, and I still can't believe the fact that he's gone, because he was so young. I think he was 22 when he passed away. It was like a crazy freak thing. I think he went asleep one day and he didn't wake up. Like, it is heartbreaking. I actually cried. I think it's the first like celebrity that had ever passed away in my lifetime that I had been a huge fan of. So it was really odd and I was really sad. But anyway, so when I heard about Descendants Rise of Red, I thought it was kind of like a joke. I thought it wasn't a real thing. It wasn't going to be like a proper movie. But like when it actually came out the other day, I was like, oh my god, it is a proper film. And so Descendants Rise of Red is about the Queen of Hearts' daughter, and it's kind of like the same. What's crazy about Descendants of Rise of Red is the fact that it's the same plot as like the first Descendants film. So you've got, instead of it being Maleficent and Maleficent's daughter, it's the Queen of Hearts and the Queen of Hearts' daughter, and they have a difficult relationship because the mother wants the daughter to be evil, which is the same as the first film. But yeah, it's the same plot. It's just kind of different of how it works, and I won't spoil it because it's really good, but they cut off half of the movie. There was like loads of stuff at the end that should have happened and it never happened. They kept building up to certain scenes and then the scenes weren't actually in the film, which was odd, and then it suddenly just ended. Also, some of the songs sounded like K-pop numbers, which is okay, I suppose. I'm not gonna attack any of the K-pop community because they are crazy. Bless you! As someone who used to make K-pop reaction videos, I am not messing with the K-pop people, but I don't know why the numbers sounded like K-pop numbers. Like, they didn't, some of them sounded like they weren't Descendants songs. Because Descendants songs, they've got this, like, classic sound to them. Like, I had the soundtrack of the first Descendants, and I completely wore out that CD. Like, it still worked, but I played it so much. I was so obsessed with it. And I also listened to all the bonus tracks. And I think I also have the CD of the second one, I'm not sure, but I think I at least streamed it loads and loads, the second one. But yes, it was an alright film, but it could have been a perfect film. Like, it really had the chance to be a perfect film. It's a bit disappointing because it had the budget, it had everything. It really could have been really, really good, but the pacing was weird as well. Like, it's one of those films that takes place in, like, a whole day. Like, it's just a day. It's not any other days. It's weird. And also, the way it ended, it felt like a TV show. Like, there should be another episode. I don't know. Anyway, so that's on Disney Plus if you want to go stream it. Obviously not sponsored, but yeah, if you want to go watch that, then I highly recommend it, but definitely watch the Descendants films first, and also keep in mind that it is a kids film, so it might be a bit boring or it might not be as fun, because there's a lot of like kids stuff I've tried to watch like over the last couple of years and it's just not hit the same. I'm like, I wish I watched this when I was younger because it's just not the same. Anyway, so the second favourite is making outfit and fashion videos. I've already touched on this in this episode, but I am really, really loving it. I think it really stretches my creativity, and it's really nice to create a different format that I'm not used to. So I'm really loving doing that. And the final one is my headphones. I'm obsessed with these. I did do a little mini YouTube short on my other channel where I unboxed it. Like 10 people watched that short, so yes. And I customised these. I added little stickers to them, and I'm so glad that I did that because they're just not the same without it. I'll put these on backwards, haven't I? Yes. Like, look, how cute. I really, really love that. I literally can't hear myself with them on. But they are just perfect. They're so lightweight, and they're obviously not the perfect headphones, but I really, really love them. So I will leave the model number in the name of them in the description box if you are looking for new headphones, but I highly recommend them. But yeah, that's a random one because I couldn't think of any other favourites to talk about this week that wasn't another film. So yes, that is all for this episode of the Confessions of a Teenage Witch podcast. I hope you have enjoyed it. It has been a bit crazy because I'm still slightly ill, so my thoughts are not very organised, but I hope it has been interesting nonetheless. If you have made it to the end of this episode, then please leave a flower emoji in the comments. It can be any flower, whichever flower inspires you today. So I will see you soon. I'll see you next Friday at 5 for the next episode. Bye.